Woodward Sports, let's go!
Woodward Sports Network, let's go!
Yeah, beautiful sunrise on Woodward this morning. It's gleaming inside the Woodward Sports Studio. Good morning to you. It's the Morning Woodward Show. My name is Stick. To my right,
it's Corey.
And it's Joey. Good morning.
Hey, and on producer cam and lurking behind him, we have Art and Adam over there. Good morning, Art. How you doing this morning? A little cramped?
I'm all right. It's just, I love getting here early and waiting for people to show up late. It's my favorite part of the day.
Oh, boy.
I had to get it out. I feel better
You had to. Yeah, and we talked about that yesterday. Art was going to show up early today, and I told him, I'm like, just get a key from Adam so you can let yourself in at any time. And he's like, no, Adam will be here. What time did you get here, Art?
I got here at 6:10.
What time did Adam get here?
7 o'clock.
So you waited in the parking lot for 50 minutes?
I did listen to the Drew and Mike podcast, so,
That's
cool.
great.
Yeah.
Kept you busy.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, man. Thanks for going back and listening to one of our podcasts.
Yeah, no problem.
No
That's
problem.
What I'm here for.
We got a lot to talk about on today's show. Nate Burleson saying the Lions should not draft a quarterback with the number 7 overall pick. We're going to go over some of our favorite Super Bowl ads of all time because not only is the Super Bowl fun for sporting events, it's also amazing for commercial time, and I always look forward to the Super Bowl commercials. Plus, Rob Parker said some things about Matthew Stafford, and if Matthew Stafford were black, what would happen to him? And we're going to get into that coming up later on in today's show. That should be a fun conversation.
When I read that headline, I was like, whoa.
The headline was a lot heavier than the article,
Yeah.
I think. Like, when I deep dove into the article and read it, it was not as like, oh, okay, this isn't, it was more comparing him to one specific black quarterback than all black quarterbacks. So we'll get into that later on in the show. I know Corey's got an opinion on that because that's not only your mentor writing it, but also something very close to your heart.
I just looked at I know the argument that he was going with it, and I agree with it. I'll get on why later, but not for the reason that he specifically said it.
All right, cool. I like that. But first, last night, let's get into Joey's news.
So the Pistons game, we had a late one starting at 10 o'clock yesterday, and it was one of those games where I'm watching the whole time, and I'm like, what's going on with Derrick Rose? Because he was active to play, but he never saw the court. So he sat on the bench the entire game. We lost to the Jazz 117-105, and in my head, all of a sudden, I'm like, all right, this means he's getting traded. That's the only thing I could think of. But then it comes out that he had an upset stomach.
Oh.
So the rumor of Derrick Rose getting traded, it's not official yet, but there is talks still.
He just had gas, that's all.
Right. So there is still talks about Derrick Rose getting traded, so we'll see what comes out from that. Michigan State, they almost pulled off an upset against number 8 Iowa, lost 84-78, and Aaron Henry had a really good game, 24 points for the Spartans. LaShawn McCoy says that the Lions' run game could do damage under our new offensive coordinator. That one made me happy.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later. Anthony Lynn is getting some hype around the league.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype around the Lions right now, and I love it. This one, I know, Corey, you were super geeked about this. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Yeah.
Bringing back college football, NCAA football. The last time we saw this was Denard Robinson, the Michigan quarterback, on the cover for NCAA football 2014.
Yeah, I shed a few tears last night. It was an emotional moment. I mean, I'm still one of those guys who plays it on the old PS3 with the old rosters and everything like that. So it's great to see. I'm curious to see how they're going to do it. And if they nail this correctly, because college football is always a little bit different than the Madden game, but if they nail the gameplay correctly, I'm so excited.
This is going to be cool. I don't even know why it ever went away in the beginning.
Money, baby.
Ed O'Bannon.
Like,
Look
it
at that
wasn't
lawsuit.
selling, really?
No. Ed O'Bannon, he's right. Ed O'Bannon put a lawsuit on them that they were using his name and rights to make money, and none of the players were making any money off that game. So that's why it's not the NCAA.
Yeah, it's going to just be called college football, and
Yeah.
they're working with the we can get into
We'll
it.
get
but
into
yeah.
it. We'll get into it a little bit later. And then the last news I got is the Let Them Play Michigan group that we've been talking about had the peaceful rally over the weekend outside of Lansing trying to bring back high school sports in Michigan. They filed a lawsuit in state court yesterday against the MDHHS for their role in banning contact sports in the winter sports season.
Nice.
So that's going to be something that will update you throughout this process.
Yeah, you wonder what that lawsuit does.
Right.
I mean,
Sad it had to get this far. That's
yeah.
it.
I just don't know what it does eventually. Like, you're suing them for what exactly? Like, what are you? All this does is make it official and put it on the books, kind of. It doesn't really
wasting money. I mean, who knows what will come out of it? But that's the next step. That they left them nothing else to do besides that.
Right.
So we'll see what comes from that. And I just wanted to start by giving a quick little shout out to my people over at Bridge Street Exchange, the newest client that we got here at the Woodward Sports Network. They are located in downtown Fenton, and they just have so much cool Michigan products in there. And one of my favorites that they got is the Detroit Grooming Company. Shout out to Mike and everybody over there. They sell their products. And, you know, with my beard, I always like to keep my nice little creams and all that in my beard to keep it looking fresh always. And they also got a whole bunch of Carhartt gear, especially with Valentine's Day right around the corner. It's a place for ladies where you could just go one stop in downtown Fenton and just get your man whatever he wants, because it's the one place that got everything. So Bridge Street Exchange, downtown Fenton.
Like it, man. I gotta go there. I like Fenton. There's like that. Kid Rock, he's got the place in Clarkson, and they got another place that's like the Firehouse in Fenton. It's a really great place, man.
It's like a cool small downtown, but it's like everybody down there knows each other too. That's one thing I learned about Fenton.
Right. No, I mean, those small town America. What's up, Fenton? The one memory I have of Fenton is when I was 12 years old at a Little League baseball tournament. Like, we rolled up to the tournament, and these kids looked like the 16-year-old team. Everybody from Fenton was just huge, and we're like, oh, no, they're in the division above us. And we ended up playing them. We beat them, but still, these kids, every single kid from Fenton was just a monster.
One thing is, I wish I never suffered from memory loss, because Stick over here just drops out. When I was 12, he knew exactly where he was.
You think you have memory loss?
Oh, I do.
From what?
It's just, I mean, lack of sleep and a lot of things that I've done to myself.
Oh, wow.
I know, it sucks.
I know I've done a lot more drugs than you, so there's no way it's that.
It ain't the drugs. It's just lack of sleep does a bad damage to your body.
Yeah,
bad damage to your body.
That is true, but yeah,
That's amazing.
It would be crazy to me not to be able to remember my life.
Yeah,
that's big.
Do you remember when you were 12, Corey? Like, things that happened and events?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. But like, Stick knows it like perfectly. Like, he'll repaint that picture in your head. It's crazy.
It's kind of crazy. I can remember things that happened to me when I was younger more than I can remember what happened last week.
Really?
Is that before or after your concussion? Do you think that had anything to do with it?
No, I can remember everything from a kid. Something like, but last week, I don't know.
That is nuts, man. That's just my memory. It's a very vivid memory. Like, I can tell you the uniform number that the first baseman was wearing, what color they were, all that stuff.
What I love, though, is I've been so close with Stick for the last probably 7 or 8 years.
Document his life.
He documents my life. He literally remembers things where I'm like, oh, yeah, that did happen.
Like, Joey, you remember when we met this person? And like, we went there? Yeah. So, yeah, that's my memory for you. So, Nate Burleson, he's been doing the rounds, doing some publicity for Crown Royal, and he had an interview with our own Dave Burkett from the Detroit Free Press. And I watched the interview. It was a great interview. The main thing I took out of it was Nate Burleson said that the Lions should not use their number 7 pick on a quarterback this year. And I know, Joey, in your mock draft, and you've been talking, you want Justin Fields.
Yeah.
The hype train has been building up around not only Zach Wilson.
Parsons is a big one, too, that they got. Oh, you're talking about quarterbacks.
I'm talking about quarterbacks only.
Yep, Trey Lance.
Trey Lance is really, everybody, this is like what happened to Zach Wilson last month is what's happening to Trey Lance right now.
On steroids, though.
Dude, his buzz is just picking up and picking up and picking up. So that being said, you know, everybody's talking there's 4 viable quarterbacks in this draft. We have the number 7 pick. One of them's most likely going to be there. I know, Corey, me and you kind of want to go defense, but Nate Burleson says no quarterback, period. Do you think that's a good move, bad move? Joey, let's start with you, because I know you want Justin Fields.
My thing is this, and I'm still going to stand with this, if Justin Fields, because I don't know about the whole Zach Wilsons and Trey Lance coming out of nowhere. I don't know. I can't speak on them. I haven't watched enough film from them to really have that want for them in a first-round early draft pick. But the way I look at it is, if he's still on the board at number 7, it's something that you got to take, because Jared Goff, I think he will be good here, but it's just we got to have that backup plan. We can't set ourselves up for failure on this move, because it all starts with the quarterback. So I think that's the most important thing. But then I know you two are going to talk about some good points about us needing some other positions, more importantly, right now.
Yeah, Corey, I'll let you speak because as always, I'm kind of in the middle. So go ahead, Corey.
I don't think that they necessarily need to go quarterback with one of those that first round pick or even in the second or third round. I don't think they need to go quarterback this draft. I think you assess the situation. Justin Fields is great. He was great in college. He didn't really finish, these last couple of games that well, but even if he did finish those games that well, with the fact that they have Goff now, I don't think that Justin Fields is that type of talent where there won't be another Justin Fields in next year's draft or the following draft after that. The Lions have the draft capital to where if a quarterback does come out of nowhere, say next year, they can move up and grab him. They have too many holes right now where they need to fill on defense, and even on offense for playmaker positions, they need to go in that direction with those type of picks. You don't want another. But on the flip side, I will say this: if you go in like in the third or fourth round and you want to get a QB, I say go ahead because you don't want another Chase Daniel situation,
right,
where you're overpaying a free agent quarterback when you can go ahead and just draft one and he can kind of watch Goff and then learn from him that way. So I would rather see them go ahead and pass on the quarterback and take a playmaker on defense.
Yeah, so the more I read about Goff and the more I study him and study what he's done in his career, his statistics, and even what he did this last playoff run where dude had surgery on his thumb and then played in the game, no turnovers, he did well. He got his team to a Super Bowl. I mean, he's 42-20 in his last 62 games. Like, the more I'm reading on this guy, I'm not finding the holes that everybody else is seeing in his game. Like, I just don't see it. Because if Matthew Stafford had accomplished any of those things in his first 6 years here in Detroit, we would have statues to him right now. So I know a lot of people are just like, Goff, blah, 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 blah. I want to give this guy at least a fair shake. And, I was reading, he did an interview with the LA Times yesterday, and the things he was saying just kind of made me fall in love with this guy a little bit more. And I don't want to be this guy already. I want Goff to go out there and prove it on the field, obviously. But a lot of the stuff he was talking about, just like how he's happy to be out of there and happy to be in a place that actually wants him, and he's changing his energy. And, he didn't know when in the process they actually gave up on him there. And that's got to be such a weird working relationship when your higher-ups, even though you've gotten them to a Super Bowl 2 years ago, won a playoff game this year, played with a injury on your thumb, they're just like, yeah, you're not good enough for us. Like, that's got to plague on you while you're on the field.
You don't think that's a performance issue at any point in the decisions that the team made with him?
I do. I mean, obviously there is some performance issues, but like I said, if Matthew Stafford had Goff's performance issues, we would think Matthew Stafford was the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah, I mean, Goff does have some deficiencies. Like, as far as when you're comparing like talent for talent, Matthew Stafford is the better quarterback. But at the same time, I will say this: a lot of Matthew Stafford's numbers have come in garbage time when he's trying to bring us back when we're out of the games because he didn't get us in position in the first half. So that's where I kind of look at it, where it's like, I want to see what Goff does in this situation where he's now in a round, like you said, coaches that want him, he has a GM that knows who he is, and he's going to scout talent to surround him with the proper tools to succeed. So I just don't think that this is the draft to go QB now that you have Goff, because again, he's only 26 years old. He is in a new scenery. It may do some good for us. And the thing is, you want Goff because of the draft capital that we have and how we need to rebuild the team. You want Goff to be successful.
Right. I love this quote by him, too. This was in the LA Times article. It says, as time has gone on over the past few days and even at the end of the night, it becomes a positive and you start to feel really good about yourself again. You start to feel, I don't want to say relief is the word, but you start to feel happy, grateful, and ready for a new opportunity. That's the biggest feeling I was overcome with that night, and even the days following, is he's just relieved that he's not working for an organization that doesn't appreciate him anymore.
And I just think that's soft, the way that he comes out and talks like that.
Okay.
Because truthfully, I still stand by saying that there was some performance issues. And it's like, listen, this is the NFL. It's not going to be some grown-ass men wanting you to perform bad. It's just they go off of what they see, and that's it. And that's why it's like when you come out and say this after leaving an organization, I don't really respect it unless we see him proving things here. Then after that, you come out and say, this is the relief that I like.
Yeah.
Not before all that coming out and saying this. It's soft.
I don't think it's soft by any stretch of the imagination to be happy that somebody wants you. Like, that's just human nature, you know? Like, if you're playing
and then we draft the quarterback, and then he's going to say, oh, I feel underappreciated, undervalued.
Yeah, but if you're playing for an organization that doesn't appreciate you, it's gonna affect your performance, and you're not gonna give it your all. So if you gotta and you know the buzz around the Lions right now, it's all rah rah rah. It's Dan Campbell ripping off kneecaps. We're the best. They're getting people fired up to be here, and Goff is one of them. That's not soft.
I don't think it's soft for the simple fact when you look at it like this. Yeah, there are different quarterbacks, but I just got traded for a quarterback that's never won a postseason game.
Right.
I'm 3-3, and I took you guys to a Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm human. I'm gonna take offense to that. So I've got new guys to places that he doesn't even know what it looks like
Ever.
So yeah, I'm gonna take that personal.
So let us see what that looks like, Jared Goff, and then I will have respect for what you said.
Here's one thing you'll respect Jared Goff for, and I think us all do, because part of Woodward Sports is making sure that we're in the city, making sure that we're giving back to the community, making sure that we're not just here trying to get rich. Like, we're not part of the no-fly zone, like Trick would say. Like, we're not here just to grab money from the city and run. Like, we're here to make a difference. And this is what another thing I liked about Jared Goff. He said, LA became home for me. It's a place where I put my roots in the ground. Being able to affect the community in Inglewood over the past year or two has been the most rewarding experience of my life. One thing I said to them this year, this isn't a one-year thing. This isn't a right now. This isn't a PR move. I'm going to be here a long time, even if I'm not here. And you got to respect a guy that, comes to the community, because like Ndamukong Suh's the same way, and you see that with a lot of Detroit athletes. Rashid, Sheed is probably A1 when it comes to doesn't live here, but still gives back to the city, because when he was here, he became so ingrained in the culture. So whether you think he's soft or not for feeling underappreciated, you got to respect him for that.
For sure. And I do. And listen, when you're replacing Matthew Stafford and Kelly Stafford, and you're talking about all the Phil, whatever that word is, that is hard shoes to fill. So, seeing that, I respect that, obviously.
Yeah, no, this was a great interview. And, I don't know much about Jared Goff personally or how he is outside of the field, and outside of Hard Knocks. I loved watching that Hard Knocks when they did the Rams. I hope they do the Lions for Hard Knocks. Oh my God, this year for Hard Knocks with the Lions, with Dan Campbell, that whole new regime,
make us look hard.
And this is the year, because there's nothing to lose.
I just want to see it. I want to hear what he does behind the scenes. Wouldn't that be his second Hard Knocks?
When he was in Miami, did they do it?
No,
that was Joe Philbin.
Yeah, that was Joe Philbin. Okay,
and that was even a great one. Like, I love Hard Knocks, getting to see behind the curtain of the NFL teams like that. But yeah, I would love to see Dan Campbell. I would love to see Chris Spielman. Like, I want to know what's happening in this locker room with these crazy ass ex-players.
Actually, you know what? Kind of think, that would actually make the most sense for their ratings, because coming off of that whole kneecaps comment and how it was such a big thing about him being hired and how he got hired, I think that would do numbers for them.
Yeah, I think so too. They definitely get me watching, and I'm one.
Especially you look right now. Lions have been the entire talk of the league these last couple weeks.
Yeah,
and that's freaking crazy. But it literally, Lions have been the headline, so it would make for a great story.
And that was a question I was going to ask after the Super Bowl that we could talk about later. But I was thinking the other day, is this the best you've ever felt about the Lions?
Yeah, easily. It all has to translate onto the field, so you never know what it's going to end up looking like. But at the same time, this is the most competent overhaul we've ever seen the Lions complete, where it's like, okay, why did they hire that guy? Why did they hire that guy? This year it's like, oh, they got him? How the hell they get him?
Right.
Damn, they're bringing him too? Oh, okay. So at least it makes you feel good that they brought competent people into the front office to make these decisions, because before they were just making those decisions by people who were not football people. Like Rod Wood said, I'm not a football guy, but they brought in Chris Spielman to help him out because he's not a football guy, and he brought in the football people.
One thing that I fear, though, is I'm not going to say this is the best I felt as a Pistons fan, but it's the best that I felt in recent years as a Pistons fan, with Troy Weaver, all the changes we made, and then we're seeing how they're playing. So that's the thing that I struggle because I mean, yes, you got to give time. You know, I mean, the Pistons are 5-16. It takes time right now for this rebuild that we're in. I just hope it's not like a disappointment. I want to see some things.
Right, and that's the blessing and the curse of being a Lions fan. I drank the Kool-Aid every offseason. I feel good, and then come to that first game, we blow a lead, and a rookie quarterback whoops our ass the past 3 years.
Yeah, I think this time it's just different because of how they went about the process. First off, they were very transparent, more than we've ever seen the Lions be before. They're normally they'll release a statement. I've never seen the owners be on camera this much addressing the team and how they're going to move. And it's a totally different approach to it. So that's why I'm going to give it the time that it needs, because Detroiters, as fans have lost so much. We've witnessed losing so much that waiting for that winner, you're almost too anxious, too impatient to let it play out. But this is where we are. The GMs and the ownership was real transparent about they have to tear everything down and build it back up. Let's just give it time.
Yeah, well, and that goes back to the original question, with the teardown. Are you drafting your rookie quarterback this year? Nate Burleson says no.
Justin Fields on the board at number 7. What are you doing?
And that's the crazy part. Like, you gotta factor in your future there, right? I mean, if we're taking somebody to sit for a year or two, I like Trey Lance at that position.
That was my guy.
For real?
That's what I said. If he's there, gotta grab him.
Yeah, but once again, dude didn't even play last year in NCAA football. He had a great year the year before with 40 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 14 rushing touchdowns. He started as a running back, then turned into a quarterback, so that's kind of exciting. You love those dual threat guys. It just scares the hell out of me. And once again, we got to put this trust into Holmes, and we got to put this trust into our scouting. And they haven't done enough to make me believe that they're going to get that pick right if they take the quarterback at 7. I
agree. I just don't think that any quarterback out there is that great to take at that pick this year. If you had the number 1 pick, and then if we had the number 1 pick and Trevor Lawrence is there, well, I mean, we're not having this discussion. You take Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
Outside of that, I don't see any quarterback that is so transcended that we can't find another one in the next coming drafts.
How happy are you going to be, though, if we get Fields at 7, Joey?
I'd be so happy. But, so I'm going to be more accepting if we don't, because we do have Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just still, because, Jared Goff's a young guy. He's 26. But it's for me, the way I look at this is I seriously think that there's a great future for Justin Fields in the NFL. And especially that style quarterback for the Lions, that to me is fun.
Yeah, well, that's the one thing we've been missing for 50, 60 years, something like that, is a mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, we tried it with Andre Ware. Rodney Peete, even though you looked at him as a mobile quarterback, but he's not. He was a pocket passer his whole career. Charlie Batch, pocket passer. Joey Harrington, he could only stay in 3 feet of space, otherwise he'd die. McMahon was kind of
he tried.
Dual threat.
He tried.
Yeah. Orlovsky, when he was running out of the end zone, was dual threat.
For the wrong way.
So I've never seen a running quarterback in a Lions uniform.
And I've seen a couple of reports that said Dan Campbell would prefer a mobile quarterback. So,
everybody should.
I mean, that's the way the league is going right now.
Bam.
Right.
Exactly. That's the way the league's going.
Unless you're Tom Brady or Drew Brees.
Yeah, I just don't think that. Yeah, I gotta agree with you, Stick. If I'm at 7, if I'm taking one of those mobile quarterbacks, and they're gonna be sitting, it's gonna be Lance. I mean, I watched film on all of them. He just has that it factor. As soon as you see him on the field, you're gonna see something special happen as far as the plays. The one thing I don't like about Lance is that it's a gift and a curse. He initiates contact, when he's in the red zone and the defenders are in between him of scrambling and getting into the end zone. He's going to go ahead and try to truck him. But at the same time, in the NFL, that could come back to bite him in the ass.
That's that running back in him, though.
Yeah.
But, we've seen it with RG3. We've seen it with other running quarterbacks that get in the league. These men hit hard.
But you do that at North Dakota State, and
Right.
the people that you're playing is different than playing NFL athletes.
Right.
So you have Justin Fields available at number 7. You're going to go with Trey Lance if he's still on the board?
Ooh, that's a good question.
because right now he's not lasting past the first round.
Oh,
I don't
no.
know how this hype happened. Zach Wilson, I know Adam always says that he'd have him at a 3-4 round pick. I got Trey Lance at like 5, and then all of a sudden, just jumps up out of nowhere.
There's going to be at least 5 first-round quarterbacks this year because you got to include Mac Jones in this, and he's kind of the outlier because he's your traditional big, plotty quarterback.
Hey, I seen a couple of boards had him going at like at 8 to the Panthers.
Ooh,
Damn.
Mac Jones
Yeah.
at 8?
I didn't even have him in my first round.
Holy!
A couple of boards I've been looking at them. A couple of boards have been changing because I've seen some of them have Parsons slipping out of the top 10 because of some off the field issues.
Oh, who cares about off the field issues? Like, honestly,
I'm just saying off the
if
boards.
Parsons Ray Lewis, I don't care. I don't care. Go murder somebody. Just play football for me. Did you see that meme I posted yesterday about the 2008 Florida team?
Oh yeah, that was
Oh my God.
off the Pouncey brothers alone. Weren't they on there?
Oh.
121 players on the team. 41 of them have been arrested. 41. That's 33% of your team are felons. That's crazy. And then they were led by Tim Tebow. Like, if that team doesn't get a 30 for 30 with Aaron Hernandez, the Pouncey brothers,
Oh,
led
man.
by Tim Tebow,
It's a leader amongst men right there.
a leader amongst like felons, good guys, bad, like everybody loves Tim Tebow, and he ain't in the league.
That's crazy.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh my
Man,
God.
I thought Tebow was going to be the man in the NFL.
Oh, I didn't.
Adams is going off in the chat right now because you know how he feels about taking a quarterback at
Yep.
number 7. So, yeah, Adam, I know you don't want that quarterback at number 7, but, you know, we may have to take him. Rob Gronkowski, he figured out a cheat code, and we're going to talk about that coming up next. Let's take a 30-second break, Art, and we'll be right back.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate of
Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Yeah. So, I love Rob Gronkowski.
Man, like literally one of the greatest, funniest human beings ever after this.
I literally feel like the Lions have Rob Gronkowski as their head coach. Like, that's what I feel Dan Campbell is, just a grown-up Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah, they're about right. They're probably like they'll have a good beer together or something like that.
Yeah, no, I can just see them going nuts on spring break together. Like, that's exactly what I see happening. So Rob Gronkowski, he had virtual workouts this offseason for Tampa Bay, you know, because they wanted to see if he was still in shape. They wanted to see if he could catch the ball, if his injuries were healed. And Joey, why don't you explain this?
And I didn't realize what virtual camp really is, but it really is like him doing sprints in his workouts on camera, and then you send it off to the team. So what Gronk did, and it's the most genius thing in the world, was he recorded one, right? And then right after that, he changed his shirt, recorded another one, and saved it in the bank, just so he didn't have to do it every single day. So he could do it one day, take a couple of days off, have a nice break, hang out at his pool, in the ocean, whatever he's got going on. And that is just the most genius idea that I've ever heard. And I love that he came out to say this and admit this.
Well, this is after the fact, so it doesn't matter now.
Right.
He's in the Super Bowl. What are they going to do? Oh, my God, you
Right.
faked those? You're off the team.
See, it's the proven fact. Cheating. Cheaters do win sometimes.
Man, that is whack.
You think it's whack?
Yeah, I mean it's genius if he's trying to get out of the workouts, but I mean the Bucs started slow out the gate. So just imagine if he would have really been in his true tip-top shape that he could have been. I'm probably sure he worked himself into shape throughout the season, but I mean it's genius. It's genius, but at the same time it's kind of whack.
It goes back to that old saying, like, think of the laziest thing you've ever done, and it's probably the most creative thing you've ever done. Like, and I love that example of when your remote's across the room and you're laying on the couch and you'll, like, use a blanket to try to get it. Like, you're doing all these things to try to solve a simple problem.
And
And
you apply more energy trying to get it than just getting up and going to get it.
But that's what Gronkowski just did, man. He cracked the code. He did the laziest thing, but it was also one of the most creative and fun things that you could do. And who thinks of that, man? Like, all right, just give me 15 shirts, and I'm going to record 15 different sprints, and we'll send them over the course of 2 weeks.
What's crazy, though, is the fact that obviously he's going hard in each of these sprints, that he did the same workout 5, 10, 15. I don't know how many times he did it. That's what's crazy to me.
I love it. I love Rob Gronkowski. Have you ever done anything like sketchy like that? Because I know some girls that had overprotective boyfriends, and they would like record videos of themselves at home. And so that way you'd be like, oh, where are you at? And they just send them the picture, or, they keep pictures stockpiled in their phone, and new ones be like, oh, hanging out with my dog tonight and all this stuff. And obviously they got busted eventually, but, people have to do scandalous things sometimes like that.
So I had one friend. My mom was really strict for me growing up, so I never really was allowed to just go out and hang out with friends. So I had one friend. His name was Marcus, and that would always be my line, like, I'm going to Marcus's house. So what I did was I remember having a recorder where I recorded audio with him, and I would always carry this recorder with me. So anytime my mom would want, and my mom wasn't the, hey, I'm at Marcus's house, let me talk to him. So then I would play back some recordings. It only got me like 2 times, and then I got busted on that third one. Jeez. But it was just one of those that I was like, you know what? I at least tried, and it worked a couple times.
That's awesome.
No, I don't have none of them stories.
Art, I know you've done some scandalous things with girls in Flint.
Well, one of my best friends, no, let's not go there. One of my best friends, when he would get pulled over, he would use his friend's name and claim that he forgot his ID because he had a warrant out for his arrest. So when he would get pulled over, he'd say, hey, I'm so-and-so, and they would say, where's your ID? And he's like, oh, I don't have it. They would run his friend's ID, and he would get away with it.
Did he have, like, his driver's license number memorized or something?
He had his license memorized, his date of birth, like his address, everything. It was genius, honestly, because back when this was going on, they didn't have, like, the little photos. So It was just based off of the information that you provided. It was genius.
Yeah, I often wondered how, like, cops double-check that, because I got pulled over without an ID once, and luckily I knew my driver's license number off the top of my head. He ran it, everything matched, blah, blah, blah. But you could do that with anybody as long as you have their ID memorized.
Why do you have your license number memorized?
Oh, I have my license number
memorized. I have my number.
Do you really?
Yeah.
All I know is N500. That's it. Why do you have it memorized? What do you use it for?
Everything.
I can tell you what I used it for.
What do you use it
for
for
the
real?
Countless radio jobs that I never got, and I had to remember it when filling out an application.
Yeah.
So when I get fired from radio, I'd have to fill out an application. I'd remember S530, blah, 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 and yeah, just thanks, radio.
Not rattling them out, but yeah, I remember. I'm using mine for everything, so I'd have that.
What do you use
Do you have your social security number
Of
memorized?
course I got that.
Okay.
But, like, you're using your social security more, filling out forms and all that. For me, I do.
It's just about the same.
Yeah, I think so.
like
I
neck
can't
and
tell
neck.
you the last time I used my license, like the number.
Really?
I really can't
Wow.
tell you. What's, like, the most recent thing you've used it for
That
you could talk about?
filling out a bank account, I think.
Yeah.
Opening a bank account. One time when I got arrested, I gave them my number, and they were like, they were shocked. They're like, nobody has that memorized in here. And it's like, oh.
I have mine memorized for all the gambling sites that I've been signing up
Oh,
for.
there you go.
You have to put that in the...
Yeah,
some
you
of
have to-
them, yeah.
Yeah, some of them you have to remember. It's a good
Really?
thing to remember. Like,
No, it ain't. Just carry your license.
your memory is terrible.
No,
so
I have memory on, like, certain things like that. It's just way back stuff.
So what is your social security number, Joey?
3.
Let's test this knowledge right now.
Yeah, I have my license remembered, my social security number, and I have my parents' social security number remembered too.
Damn.
Yeah, I got my parents.
My
too.
sister's got my whole damn family's everything memorized.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like she could open up credit cards for everybody if she wanted to.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, Rob Gronkowski, he may be a meathead, but he's a smart meathead, and I love Rob Gronkowski. Like his energy is just amazing.
is there anyone else that you would rather party with in the NFL than him? Like, it seems like he would just be a blast. Like, just drinking 40, smashing stuff. Like, he just seems like the greatest guy to hang out with.
Yeah, either him or the Kelsey brothers. Like the Kelsey brothers seem absolutely out of control.
Yeah, I'll probably hang out. I ain't gonna lie, AB.
AB.
Yeah.
That'd be an entertaining time. Just him hanging out with him and Rick Ross. I'd have a blast.
Yeah. Who would you hang out with, Joey, if you could pick one NFL player?
I'm just thinking off of what I see. You know, Darius Slay was always a good one because I see the videos that he posts on his Instagram story where it looks like my man's always having fun.
Yeah. Odell Beckham Jr., would you guys party with Odell on his boat?
Nah, I'm all right. I'll pass.
Nah.
Listen, he be doing some weird things. I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, definitely some weird things. We got to give a shout out to Levels. It's a new dispensary that will be in Michigan very soon. They're opening, I believe, in the next month or so, and they became a partner with the Woodward Sports Network. So if you're on Instagram right now, or you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, hop on over to Instagram and give them a follow. It's Enjoy Levels that on Instagram at Enjoy Levels. They got some really cool things coming up. I mean, not only do they have like the best product in the city, they're going to have the best merch in the city. They're going to treat you the best. I love everything about this company and what they're bringing, and they got some big plans for the state of Michigan. So shout out to Levels. You're going to be hearing a lot more about these guys in the next coming months. So thank you, Levels. And everybody go follow them right now. Enjoy Levels.
And they're going to be doing some cool giveaways, so it's going to pay off to follow this account.
Yeah. You know what? Let's take a break right now, because once we get into this Super Bowl commercial talk, I think we're just going to go for a while, because that's one of my favorite things about the Super Bowl. The game is awesome, but it's the only time of year I look forward to commercials. And we're going to talk about some of the best Super Bowl commercials of all time coming up next.
It's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys and ladies. This is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
Reading the comments during the break, Joey Harrington would be a blast to hang with. Said no one ever. Welcome. It's the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. I got Corey Woods to my right and Joey to my left. Art is over there on producer cam, and Fish is hanging out, making sure that we're staying on point today. So thank you, Mr. Fish. And one of my favorite parts about the Super Bowl is obviously the commercials. And you go through all the sites, and some people rank them and all that, and some of the rankings are just awful. Like, I'm like, why are these even up there? But I wanted to go through some of my favorites, and you can bring up some of your favorites. Off the top of your head, what's one of your favorite commercials, Joey?
This is one that obviously I had to rewatch because I think it was like before I was even born. The Michael Jordan with Larry Bird one. The McDonald's Big Mac commercial.
Yes, sir.
That one's a classic.
Art, you want to play that one real quick? Like, do you remember? I think you're a little young.
No,
but
this was like before I was born.
Yeah, but it's so iconic.
It is.
That everybody knows. And we still reference this today. Like, all right, when we're shooting paper in the basket here, like, all right, off the window, off Art's head, off Fish, and then into the hoop. But let's watch this commercial.
What's in the bag? Lunch. Big Mac, fries. Play you for it. You and me for my Big Mac? First one to miss, what does the winner eat? No dunking. On me. Which me? Get in there. Off the floor, off the scoreboard, off the bankboard, no rim. Over the second rafter, off the floor, nothing but net. Through the window, off the wall, nothing but net.
Nothing but a net.
What you want is what you get, and McDonald's today.
That outfit that Jordan's wearing too right now, man.
Off the billboard, through the window, off the wall, nothing but net.
That was a great one for McDonald's, and everybody did that back in the day, man. Off the backboard, off your face, off this, off the school bus.
Back in the day, I still do this.
Yeah, so that was definitely one of my favorites. And Jordan's outfit in there, it looks like that's a whole Coogee outfit.
Man, he got the Bill Cosby sweater on there.
Yeah, no, he got the shorts to match too, man. Like, that's when you know you're extra swaggy, when you got the Coogee shorts to match.
Man, that's too much money back in the day.
Jordan has that money like crazy. Corey, you got one off the top of your head that you like?
You know, I got two actually, but You know what? The Budweiser Frogs one, that one was always just so freaking hilarious to me when I was a kid. And then Terry Tate.
Terry Tate. You got the Budweiser Frog one ready to go. This one I remember watching, and my dad absolutely died once they got to the punchline because you didn't know exactly what the hell was going on when this commercial first started. It was just like one frog, and then it turns into 3 frogs, and then you finally get the message. Go ahead, Art.
Bud. Wise. Bud. Bud. Wise. Bud. Wise. Bud. Bud. Wise. Bud. Wise. Bud. Wise. Bud. Wise.
The one frog just gets pissed. It's like,
Right. So wait, who was it that came out saying that they're not going to be buying Super Bowl commercials this year? That was a big one.
Was it Doritos? Don't they normally spend a ton of money?
It was Doritos, Budweiser. I feel like those are the 2 best ones that there is.
Yeah.
Pepsi also said that they're going to do the halftime show, but that they're not going to actually do an advertisement. That was at least the rumor.
That was a good one too.
Hey,
Pepsi had some good ones.
Did you hear about the halftime show that The Weeknd paid $7 million out of his pocket to do it? Damn. Like, does that make any sense to anybody?
Yeah, it makes a huge amount of sense because he's going to double that money in streams. Like when Lady Gaga plays, or Jennifer Lopez and Shakira, whoever, like their streams the next day are in the millions. So he's going to double that money easily.
So the Super Bowl's gotten to a point where a person like The Weeknd is paying them to be there?
You always have to pay.
Really? I thought they asked somebody to do it.
No, you have to pay. It's one of the only concerts that like you have to pay to be a part of.
So if I had $7 million, I could go perform Super Bowl halftime?
You would have to have vocal talent first.
Oh, dude, have you heard me sing on this show? This is beautiful.
For real, you would think, like, all right, you mentioned that Pepsi sponsoring the halftime show. You would think Pepsi would drop $7 million to get The Weeknd to sing at it.
I mean, yeah, how does that work? I need to figure out this contract because The Weeknd is signed through Pepsi. So are they putting up the $7 million? But they said it was out of The Weeknd's own pocket.
Yeah, from my understanding, it's not any sponsorships. Like you can't get endorsed by Pepsi and have them pay. Like just like Lady Gaga had to pay. I mean, this has been going on for a while now. I'm sure Prince didn't have to pay because you pay Prince. Like it doesn't, But yeah, I mean,
like Michael Jackson had to pay.
I don't know if MJ had to pay.
Right.
I mean,
You're making all these exceptions now. Right?
Yeah, all of a sudden, it's not a paid program
I don't want
anymore.
it. I'm just letting you know what I read.
No, that's crazy because I read that too. I was like, wait, The Weeknd really just was like looking at his bank account like, you know what? I got $7 million. Let me take over the Super Bowl halftime. That's wild.
I guarantee you he doubles it just in streams. I mean, it's nuts. That's the biggest platform outside of like anything, really. When you think about it, what else is bigger than playing the Super Bowl halftime show?
Nothing. Speaking of Pepsi, there used to be Britney Spears. Remember when Britney signed on to Pepsi back in the day? And I got to preface this. Britney Spears was like my major crush. Like growing up, when I was young, it was Kathy Ireland. Then once I got into high school, it was definitely Britney Spears. And Joey,
she got you on Twitter.
Yeah, she follows me on Twitter.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Brittany follows you on Twitter?
For some unknown reason.
Have you ever hit her up in the DMs, be honest?
100 times. 100 times. And never a response. Not one.
But she's still following you?
She's still following me.
Pull it up right now. I don't believe you.
I dropped my phone, damn it. Hey, Fish, can you pick up my phone? Because these chairs are weird to get underneath.
Let's play the commercial in the meantime.
Yeah, let's play.
With fountains today. People who think young say, Pepsi, please.
The lively crowd today agrees. Those who think young say Pepsi, please. Pepsi. For those who think young, come alive. Come alive. You're in the Pepsi generation. You're in the Pepsi generation. You're in the Pepsi.
That is the loudest commercial of all time. Like, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have to play that whole commercial, but they go through the whole generation with Britney Spears, which at that time, was there anybody hotter than Britney Spears?
No.
And at this time, is there anybody weirder than Britney Spears? Like, have you
She still
followed
look
her?
good, though.
Have you followed her on Instagram? Or on anything?
You're the only one that's concerned with what Britney's doing. Like, after she shaved her head. And here's the thing. If I see that she unfollowed you, I'm going to feel so heartbroken for you.
I know, man. Oh, yeah, there you go. Says
What?
it right there.
No way.
Can I hold it up? How do I do it?
Send me the screenshot if you can, because I still don't believe
it. Says
this.
right next to her name, follows you. What do you want me to email this to you?
Yeah, just email it to me so we have proof.
Okay.
We need the ticket.
I'm not going to be a hater yet, Stick.
Why?
I'm not going to say it yet.
What are you going to say? You can say what you want, man.
No, not yet. I want Art
Say
to
it.
see it first.
Say it.
Talk, Joey. Say what you got to say.
I ain't going to say it yet. Once Art sees it, he'll probably be the one to say it first.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if I like this now. What? Do you know something we don't know?
No.
Is Stick the reason why she shaved
You're
her
going to
head?
see it. Everybody else is going to see it.
Listen, when she shaved her head, she got hotter to me.
Oh, my God. You were
Really?
psychotic.
Oh, I love crazy chicks.
Of course.
Okay, I'm going to tell your girl to shave her head.
No.
I'm going to
It's not about the shaving of the head. It's about, man, this girl's buck wild. Like,
Man,
yeah.
you know what? Okay, I know exactly what Joey is talking about.
What?
Bro, okay, let me... She follows 370,000 people.
So?
She's a bot.
And I'm one of them.
Bro, get out of here. Joey, you're right, man. You exactly know. Like,
I didn't want to ruin it.
What? What are you ruining?
if she would have followed like 2,000 people, I would have been like, okay, cool. Like, wow, you're one of the rare ones. That's how many people she slept with. 370,000. You're on the list. Congrats.
Hey, Art, does she follow you?
And she will today. I
Hey,
guarantee
Joey,
you by
does
the
she
end
follow
of the
you?
day.
I didn't
Hey,
say
Corey,
it.
does
Art
she
said
follow?
it.
Hey, Fish, does she? Yeah, shut up. I'm the only one in this room she follows.
I just
don't
followed
care.
her from Woodward Sports. Let's see if we can get a follow back.
Let's see
Let's see how easy Britney Spears
Get
is
her to
these
do one of
days.
those creepy Instagram videos she does. Like, I love Woodward Sports. They're the best.
Well, she had her moment with Pepsi. Now it's the Weeknd's moment with Pepsi during the halftime show. And did you put up the screenshot, man?
I did. I'll put it up again so you can feel validated that she follows 370,000 people. And
Let's
you're one of them.
Photoshop it at least. Let's just put
No wonder she
370.
doesn't get back to your DMs. She's
Yeah,
got
she will.
370,000 other people DMing her.
She will. There'll be a day. A day.
Can I tell you, and if anyone's got connects, I know that we're old like radio people, if you could get Lana Del Rey to follow me,
I can do that easy.
do it. I dare you.
Okay, I'll do
Now
it
you
after the
will
show.
do it. Okay.
Come on, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, so I'm looking at something that Art was talking about, where we were talking about the Super Bowl performers not being paid. So the NFL does not pay the performers, but they do take care of like the stage costs and the people around.
The production.
They provide the catering. Hey, here's $20 worth of KFC chicken, but you still got to pay $7 million.
Now here's the thing. To your point about it helping the sales. When Justin Timberlake performed in 2018, that same day his music sales rose 534%.
All you had to do was show Janet's boobies.
No, that was after.
2018.
Oh, the second
That was,
time?
can't stop the
When he-
feeling.
Oh, God, yeah. Remember how
Dang.
pissed people got, though, that they brought Justin Timberlake back and wouldn't bring back Janet?
Right.
Kids don't need to be seeing two boobies this time, okay? We already saw one boobie. We don't need to be seeing two.
I wouldn't mind seeing Janet again.
Mine is
What?
Vicky Valancourt's boobies.
Oh, see, yeah, you guys are clowning me about Britney Spears. Yes, she follows 330,000 people. 55 million follow her, though. That's a great percentage.
I'll
That's
pull
a
up the
great
picture
ratio.
one more time so you can feel validated. 370,700.
It's not like a Lil B situation where Lil B has 1 million followers and he follows 1 million people. Lil B follows everybody.
Right. Britney don't follow everybody. Otherwise, she'd have 55 million people she was following.
Can I ask you, how devastated would you be if she unfollowed you? Like, you'd be a little heartbroken,
Oh, I've
right?
held on to this for like 8 years. Like, she followed me way early in the Twitter. So
When she was at 350.
She wanted all those
following.
radio spins. She's like, maybe if I follow Stick, I could get extra 20 spins.
Hell
And he
yeah.
used to play that every single day.
Toxic, just 3 in the morning.
I wake up to Toxic. Every morning I wake up and say, "It's Britney, bitch."
He's got his ringtone set to Toxic.
Like Michael Scott in the Sebring. It's Britney, bitch.
Lady Gaga's playing in the background.
All right, let's get back on track here for the commercials for the Super Bowl. Obviously, Britney did the Pepsi commercial. One of my favorite over the past years, and it kind of kicked off like a long line of these commercials, is when they introduced the new Old Spice guy. You remember that?
Oh, man.
They did that during the Super Bowl, and I love this guy's commentary. Like, look at your man, then look at me. Now look at your man, then look at me. Now go ahead, Art.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat with the man your man could smell it. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
Did you switch over to Old Spice? Be honest.
Oh, I'm an Old Spice. Like, I'm diehard Old Spice.
Really?
Diehard. I haven't changed deodorant since high school.
Dude, Old Spice gives me a rash, bro.
Really?
Oh, so bad. Like,
Yeah, I
my
use them too.
skin breaks out. It gets super bad, yeah.
I can't rock with that same thing. Old Spice
Really?
kills. My arms just destroyed. It'll just be instant
All the
breakout.
aluminum.
Wow.
Well, this is like Joey has a sweating issue, and I always said just use better deodorant, and that's what I use.
I use Old Spice.
Do you?
Yeah.
Like the gel?
No, not the gel.
Use the gel.
Oh, that one messes me up.
See,
way
it's the gel.
more.
It's the gel.
Yeah, I can't do the gels.
Man,
I need the white one.
What's wrong with y'all?
The white solid.
No,
solid.
no, the blue gel. Blue gel. So I love that commercial,
He
though.
likes the one that like you spin it and it looks like it's like hair popping out of it. Got the holes.
Yeah, the one that keeps me dry. Yeah, that one.
He's so defensive. The one that keeps me dry, you mean?
Well, these
I
guys
got
are
a
over here.
sweating
Issue in my armpits. It's
No,
not
you
my
don't.
Deodorant.
You have a deodorant issue.
No,
I use Old Spice.
Now look at your man. Then look at me. Now look back at your man, and he's not me. Like that guy.
I'm on a horse.
The arrogance of that guy was just. You love him and you hate him at the same time. So that was one of my favorites. The one that touched everybody's heart was the Budweiser Lost Dog. Oh. And this one is a little longer, like the Britney Spears one, but you gotta play this whole one, Art. Go ahead. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get out of that because the music.
You can mute it.
Can you mute it?
Can
yeah,
you mute
we'll
it
mute
and
it.
play
Hang
it while
on.
we're talking about it?
Give me a second to mute it. And
They're gonna flag us on Facebook if we use the licensed music.
all right, here, you guys commentate it. So you guys act like you're the narrators, and go.
When you're a lost dog and you love beer, you
Never
find a
let it
horse
go.
that represents a beer, and you drink beer with that horse. And
Why do you have an accent?
I don't know.
I don't sound like
I don't know. Puppies sell beer better than anybody else.
This is like a shitty version of Mystery Science Theater.
Drink beer.
The thing about this commercial too, it's like the music makes it that much more sad.
I know.
And it just gets you. Budweiser did a few good ones, with the puppy love, and then the
The
Lost
Clydesdale
Dog
horses, that was hitting me right in the
That's
feels.
a classic one.
Can we reshoot this with Woody? Like do
yeah.
a
Having him walking down Birmingham,
rocking down Birmingham,
jumping over stuff like the horse.
Did he get high? He got
leaving
airtime like
Detroit,
that?
leaving Detroit Dog Rescue. What?
How he got airtime? Could he jump over things?
Oh, I thought you said could he get high, and I was like, what is going? Joey, it's a dog.
And that's what you're thinking.
So, here's me with my dog drinking Budweiser, and that's what we do on Super Bowl Sundays. I love that commercial though. It touched the feels.
All right. Great stuff, guys.
I
Thanks,
left
guys.
that one too because he looked right at Corey and
I
was
did look
waiting
right
for
at Corey.
something, so I just left it.
So let's take it to a funny one. This one got stuck in my head like almost for a year. I would just walk around saying "puppy monkey baby." Puppy monkey baby.
Oh my!
Do you remember that?
Yes.
And when you're watching it, you're like, what the hell
Puppy
is
monkey
this?
baby.
Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby.
That thing gave me nightmares.
Go ahead.
Man, I might just chill tonight. Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby.
Puppy monkey baby.
Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby. Puppy monkey baby.
Mountain Dew Kickstart. Dew, juice, caffeine.
What?
All the drugs.
Dude, yeah, what type of mushrooms were those dudes on to come up with that? Like, you know what we need to do? They probably stole it from South Park with Man Bear Pig. And they're like, what can we do that's close to Man Bear Pig? Let's do Puppy Monkey Baby. Like,
that commercial was just. Mountain Dew always has some kind of weird, out of the box commercial.
But you remember it though.
Yeah,
that's why they're
that's
smart.
They're smart. It always sticks with you, no matter how good or how stupid it is. It's great marketing.
yeah, we're getting some comments in here, too. Like, Darren's talking about the M&M Chrysler commercial. Remember when that came out?
That was a good one.
The imported from Detroit. Like, I thought, what a brilliant tagline.
Yeah.
Imported from Detroit. 'Cause, oh, I have an import. I'm like, no, imported from Detroit, bitch.
Did that one play only locally, you think?
No, that was a Super Bowl ad.
Nationwide.
Yeah.
Wasn't
so
Eminem
awesome.
involved in that? Like it was like black and white, and it was super like
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Peanuts M&Ms for a second, because they have some great commercials too. I'm not even gonna lie.
The GoDaddy always had some.
Man,
always
Remember
had
the
first one?
The first one. Who was,
yeah.
What was her name? Ollie something
I don't know.
Landry. Ollie Landry was her name or something.
I liked her.
That girl was beautiful doing the splits. Sorry, just had my
Brittany
Brett
Spears
Muscle.
follows him on Twitter, guys.
So anyway, the E-Trade one's really great.
Now you know why Brittany never replied to his DM.
I just want to see you do the splits.
Hit me, baby.
Ken Kniff. Right. From the internet. What about the E-Trade, baby? That was an awesome one.
That's on my list.
This was like one of the first lip dubs ever done. I remember, because it was like, wait, they just made
A lot
that
of people
baby
are like,
talk.
aren't you too young to invest in the markets? And, don't worry about it. I just look young. I mean, you don't know how old I am. And B, I use E-Trade, so check it. Click. I just bought stock. You just saw me buy stock. No big deal. I mean, if I can do it, you can do it.
Okay, yep, I'm good. I can't watch throw up, man. I'm sorry.
I've
never seen that one.
I
never
will
seen
throw
that
up.
Oh, that's a great one.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
I've
was
never seen this
awesome.
one.
You know what I want to do? I want to remake that with my bookie.
With fish?
With my bookie, yeah, fish and my bookie. Like, I was never a gambler before my bookie, and now, like, I'm betting 3-team parlays on rugby and cricket at 4 a.m.
I'm not gonna lie, like I have the worst stomach ever, and just thinking about that, like I'm sorry to cut it. I know it's part of the
throwing
show.
up, you're saying?
I can't deal with it, dude.
Really?
Like, I will throw up.
Dude, I remember being at an Oakland University basketball game at the arena, and this kid threw up right next to me.
Stop.
I didn't even flinch.
I didn't even flinch.
I really didn't.
And I
grabbed a
change
bucket for the kid. I
change
said, "Here you go."
diapers 7 days a week. Like that's no problem. But
Really?
watching other people throw up,
All right. Yeah, that's what someone mentioned. You got 32 kids, and throw up makes you sick.
yeah. Like when my kids throw up, it's different though. But
Okay.
like, if
Yeah,
it's
let's
a
not talk about
random
that.
person-
All right. So
Someone's
things we
watching
actually.
right now eating breakfast.
Right.
We're so sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
sorry about that. Art is disgusting.
I turned it off.
Let's get into something everybody loves. Betty White.
Mike, come on!
Mike, what is your deal, man?
Come on, man. You've been riding me all day.
Mike, you're playing like Betty White out there.
That's not what your girlfriend said.
Baby.
Eat
a Snickers. Better?
Better.
How about that?
That hurt.
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers.
I love Betty White. What a national treasure that lady is.
Damn, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah,
For real, though.
And
You
she
gotta
follows
love
me
Betty.
on Twitter.
No, she doesn't.
No, she doesn't. So those were some of our favorite commercials. If you guys have something that you want or one we forgot, make sure you drop that in the comments, and we'll talk about it maybe later on in the week. But I just wanted to go over a few of these because, like, we're going to get super into the game coming up tomorrow and Friday, obviously. But I wanted to touch on the commercials because it's just such a fun topic to talk about. And it's not exactly sports, but it is sports because it's something that everybody looks forward to during the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's part of the entertainment. The NFL's done a good job of just making that a thing to look forward to outside of the game. Even if it makes the game more interesting for the casual fan and gets those ratings up.
Yeah, I don't know what year was it that the commercials really became a thing. Like early on in my life, I don't remember but then all of a sudden, like around 14, 15, everybody was like, oh, the commercials, and like people get pissed when you talk during the commercials during the Super Bowl game.
I remember the Puppy Monkey Baby one.
Puppy Monkey Baby.
That one, I remember that so vividly, actually, and I got bad memory, guys.
Right.
I remember that one because it was one where I stepped away to go get food and just hearing Puppy Monkey Baby, and then I turned around and I caught that one. But for me, I mean, if it was your childhood, it's definitely been around for me for a while.
Yeah.
So I think it's always been a great thing.
Wasn't the Budweiser Was Up? Wasn't that played during the Super Bowl too?
What's that one?
The Was Up.
Yeah. That crushed the 90s for about 5 years. Like everybody answered their phone. Was Up!
That did linger for a long time.
I mean, even the movies, like when they spoofed
Scary
Scream.
movie.
Yeah. That was. So those are some of our favorite commercials. Like I said, if you got any other ones, and Garrett, this is a great one too. The Budweiser Clydesdale is always one to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Budweiser always does such a good job pulling at those heartstrings. Always.
Doritos has great commercials too. Like they've had a history of having great Super Bowl commercials.
Yep, and then like we said earlier, GoDaddy has always been on fire with their commercials. So.
Like these Budweiser ones, do you think these ads actually work?
Yes.
Like you watch that and then all of a sudden it's like, I need a Budweiser.
I mean, no, but to the point where it's brand recognition and we're still talking about the frogs. I mean, this is what, almost 20 years later?
Joey, say it again?
Budweiser.
Is that how everybody who drinks Bud talks to you?
Apparently.
Got a shotgun, my Budweiser.
I'm looking at it. Seeming like in the 70s is when it really started to kind of kick off.
Really?
Wow. The Super Bowl being a thing, and it's kind of started going on from there.
Yeah, one of the commercials when we were going through this, the first Apple commercial, everybody was talking about.
That was in '84.
Yeah, it was just a very weird, like droney, like it was just very strange commercial. But yeah, so we just wanted to touch on that. Thank you guys for putting in your comments. We got the frogs, Mean Joe Green, obviously 1979. Interesting fact about that commercial. Even though it's one of the biggest things we ever talked about, they pulled that commercial because it wasn't getting them good results. Isn't that weird?
Wow.
And now it's one of the most iconic ones years later.
They had no idea at the time like how iconic that commercial was, and they pulled it during that time because they didn't see a large rise in sales from it. And now, that was 79, and we're still talking about it. And it's been spoofed how many times? Billions? Billions?
Too many times.
That's crazy because for me, it was really like 2018 when these commercials really, I started to see them in clarity because that's when I got LASIK. Over at the Yellow Eye Center, guys. I'm telling you. Now I got 20/15 vision. You always hear me bragging about it. It's just the only recommendation I got is calling for yourself and getting that free evaluation. So call right now at 1-800-398-EYES, or you could go to YelloWEyecenter.com. They got the best vision, and I'm telling you, they'll get you the best price. So the Yellow Eye Center, give them a call right now.
Awesome. Let's take a break because when we come back, not only do we have Joey's news, we're gonna hit Joey's news, and we got some talk about the Let Them Play initiative that's going on, and then we're gonna talk about a racial issue brought up by our good friend Rob Parker. And if you didn't hear, he said if Matthew Stafford was black, he would have been thrown out of the Lions a long time ago. So we're gonna touch on that. It reminds me. Similar to like an Isaiah Thomas, Dennis Rodman thing that happened with Larry Bird a few years ago. And we'll talk about that coming up next. And now a look at Joey's news.
Let's start it off with some Lions and LaShawn McCoy breaking the news yesterday, talking about how he says that the Lions run game could do damage with their new offensive coordinator. So I'm real excited about that. And then there's been some talk about Derrick Rose potentially getting traded from the Detroit Pistons. And yesterday, once I hear something, I started to really freak out in my head. I see yesterday where Derrick Rose was active for the game, but he did not play. And then later after the game, we find out that he had an upset stomach. Just some Pepto-Bismol could have saved him, put him back on the court.
Get that song stuck in my head. Heartburn, nausea, indigestion. Go ahead.
Michigan State almost pulled off an upset against number 8 Iowa. I thought they were going to pull this off. Ended up losing by 6. This one went down to the wire. Aaron Henry had 24 points. Good game from him, but our boy Rocket did not have so hot of a game. I think only had 8 points. College football news. The first time in 6 years, 7 years now actually, that we are going to be blessed with EA Sports.
Yeah!
College football video game.
Woo!
The last cover, guys, was Denard Robinson, shoelace, from the Michigan Wolverines.
That's crazy.
I'm excited about this game. And then we talk about let them play. So they did file their lawsuit yesterday. I was on that conference call at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they were just talking about all the steps that they've taken. You know, they've issued 30,000 tests on 5,000 students. So they're doing a lot of tests, and then they see the 99.8% result from those tests were all negative. So we're going to be seeing and following this story, and it's been something these last couple of days because we had Coach Greg Campy, the head coach of the Michigan of the Oakland University men's basketball team, coming out and supporting. And then 2 days ago, we had Michigan's head coach, Juwan Howard. So there's been a lot of support for this. And there's your Woodward Sports Update. We're going to keep you updated throughout these stories.
Yeah, let's definitely that let them play thing. Like, yeah. I'm curious to follow this the whole way through. From what we're hearing is the governor is going to just keep her foot down and make sure that the kids aren't going to play. Mm-hmm. And these people are fighting for billboards. They're fighting to get lawyers. And it's just been an interesting thing to watch. It's been an interesting thing to see develop. Like we talked about, we went to the Lansing over the weekend, and we were at that peaceful rally, and all of a sudden, Juwan Howard's on board, Greg Campy's on board, we're starting to get professional athletes on board, Darren McCarty's on board, and I think this is just going to be like a good bonding moment for everybody outside of your political affiliation. Like, I think we all can agree that, you know, mental health for children is important.
It's time to go ahead and let them play. It's been too much ambiguity about what's the actual protocols, what's actually safe. Just go ahead and let them play, and let the parents make the decision. Don't take the decision away from them, especially since professional athletes and college players are able to go ahead and do the same thing that they're doing. If the guidelines didn't change for the college athletes and the pro athletes, why should it change for the kids?
Right. So, yeah, we'll keep you up to date on all of that. Joey, you've done a great job, you know, reaching out, keeping us up to date on that. It's probably the biggest story in sports in Michigan right now.
Honestly, and it's going to be a historic moment, too, if this comes back.
Either way, it's historic. Yeah. If they don't play, it's historic. If they do play, it's historic. So I'm glad we're right in the thick of it. And thank you to everybody from Let Them Play for your support. We appreciate you guys, too.
Especially Jamie, the leader of the pack.
Yeah, Jamie. Jamie's wild. I love Jamie.
Dude, any woman that can do this and fight for the whole state of
60,000 kids,
literally leading the way, and you know, all we could do is be here to support you, Jamie.
Yep. So we had Rob Parker on, what was that, 2 weeks ago now?
With the dumbest article in history.
2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this new one. 2 weeks ago, he called Tom Brady the luckiest of all time. That he's lucked into all his playoff wins, that he's lucked into all his Super Bowls. And we all kind of had a good giggle at that, you know, like, and say what you want about Tom Brady, you know. He's had some luck. You need luck to win Super Bowls, but he's also had bad luck in Super Bowls with David Tyree catching a ball on his helmet, and they lost the game because of that. So
a big part of sports is always going to be luck.
Yeah, you take good luck, you take bad luck, and that's where you're at with Tom Brady. But Rob Parker put out an article, and let me read the title of this article. If Matt Stafford were a black QB, he would have been out of a job a long time ago. And Joey, you, like, I walked in the office, you're like, did you see what Rob Parker posted?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, not yet. And then you said, yeah, Corey just dropped it off and told me about it. And you're like, and Corey agrees with this. And Corey, you do agree with this title?
I agree with the title, but you got to look at it in the vacuum. It's okay, if you look at it like if Matthew Stafford were a black QB out of a job, I think Matthew Stafford would definitely have got another quarterback position somewhere. I mean, he's a good QB, so he's gonna, and his stats prove it. He's good enough to be in the league. I mean, I'm not gonna sit up here and say that, but for as long as Matt, with those stats and his performance, as long as he stayed the franchise quarterback of the Detroit Lions, a black QB, I don't think he would have gotten that same tenure. There have been some, you could get a Donovan McNabb, but Donovan McNabb led his team to a Super Bowl. Black QBs, it's just what it is. They do not get the same type of leverage or the type of rope to be able to carry a team that long without having that type of success. They do get other starting jobs, like, you know, they'll get cut from their team or whatnot, and they'll go to another team and they'll start. You know, Steve McNair's done it. Michael Vick has done it, even though he had his own case. Donovan McNabb, when he left the Eagles, he was able to go and get another job with the Washington then Redskins. They're able. Teddy Bridgewater, he was a starting QB before and was able to get another job. They're able to go and get other jobs, but to be able to carry over a decade in the same spot, they don't get that leverage. It's just a proof in the pudding.
Yeah, and I don't see where that proof is, honestly. Like, I see that being an opinion, but when I look around the league and, you look at the top quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and they're black quarterbacks.
Because the league is changing.
Right.
So they're going to be able – the Deshaun Watsons, the Lamar Jacksons, those guys are now going to be able to have that type
Patrick
of –
Mahomes, the Dak Prescotts. I mean,
they're now.
But Dak hasn't gotten anything done, and they're still looking at him as kind of an elite quarterback. So
they're still trying to push him out the door and not give him his money.
Well, no, they're not trying to give him $40 million. They're not trying to give him Mahomes money. They made him a great offer. They offered him $30 million a year. What do you mean they're not trying to give him money?
Corey, don't let him do you like that.
I'm just saying. Well, look at the Cowboys. Take Dak Prescott from the Cowboys. Who are the Cowboys?
We saw who they were.
Exactly.
I mean, but what were they when he was playing this season?
I mean,
they were still losing ball games, and he wanted $40 million. He's not a $40 million quarterback. So, I understand, and like I said, when I initially heard this take, I was like, man, that's bullshit. Like, it's just, to me, that's what it is.
Especially just reading the title, too.
Yeah, exactly.
So you read the title, and it's like, really get this garbage out of here. Because, then he's, talking about the whole Jameis Winston comparison. So then I dig in and look at some stats, and I look at the first 5 seasons, right? You see Jameis Winston, first 5 years with the Bucs, 88 interceptions, 121 touchdowns, right? Then you look at Stafford in his first 5 years, only 73 interceptions, which is 15 less, 125 touchdowns, which is 4 more. But keep in mind, his second season, he only played 3 games.
But that's why he took in, if you look at the graphic that Rob Parker put in there, he took out that season. So if you take out that injury season, the quarterback, the touchdowns, 125 Stafford, 121 Winston. Interceptions, 84 for Stafford, 88 for Winston. The wins, 34 Stafford, 32 for Winston. The completion ratio, Matthew Stafford completed 59.6, Jameis Winston 61.3. Their passing yards are 2,000 yards. It's a 2,000 yards gap. Now Winston is out of a job.
He's not out of a job.
He's a backup quarterback. He lost his starting job.
He went there to be the starter. And are we actually going to sit here and pretend that Jameis Winston is a better quarterback than Tom Brady?
No, we're not.
That's why he lost his job.
Right.
They had an opportunity to bring in Tom Brady. Dude throws 30 picks the year before. You got a chance to get the GOAT of GOATs on your squad.
And if I'm not
of course you ship his ass out. It has nothing to do with color.
If I'm not mistaken, 07 was the last year the Bucs made the playoffs.
And Winston had plenty of time to get him there.
I'm not saying that you don't. I'm not saying that you don't replace Tom Brady with Jameis Winston with Tom Brady. If you get that opportunity, regardless of skin color, I don't care who you are. I'm going to take my chance and get Tom Brady in there.
Go.
But what I'm saying is that maybe Jameis Winston may have been the bad person to use for an example of his article, but the actual the whole bigger picture of it, he's correct.
But if he's building his whole argument around that one player, it's faulty. Right. I mean, because if we're also comparing Matthew Stafford and Jameis Winston, has Stafford ever been an issue legally, locker room wise, anything like that?
No.
Was Jameis in college?
In college,
right. So, I mean, we're comparing apples to oranges here and trying to make them the same thing. And that's what really frustrates me about this article. Because, yeah, we want to look at the stats. Stats are pretty even. All right, let's go outside the stats. Stafford was drafted to an 0-16 team, made them into a competitive team for a decent amount of time, not his whole time here. Winston was drafted into a 2-14 team, had similar amount of time, didn't get shit done with the Bucs. So, I understand what he's trying to say, but then I look around the league to like a Tyrod Taylor. Then I look around the league and, there's like a Teddy Bridgewater. That's a black quarterback that's bounced all over the league and has gotten plenty of opportunities. And I look at the guy he's using as the example, Jameis Winston. He went to the Saints knowing Drew Brees was probably a one-year candidate, and he's going to take over one of the most prolific offenses in the NFL. To me, he did something smart by taking a backup role for 1 year instead of just diving on a grenade, going to like a Washington where you could get all the playing time, but it's really not going to work out for you. So, this is where I get weird with it because yes, okay, we can say whatever we want, but if the only person you have to prove your argument is Jameis Winston, you lost me.
I mean, again, it's just the simple fact that, again, right now, black QBs, they're starting to become more of a common thing in the NFL because the mobile quarterback is starting to take place, and the NFL is over 70% black, and you're starting to get more of those players getting that opportunity. But at the same time, it's just like, while Jameis was Jameis was not the best person to use for this example, but a lot of black quarterbacks do not get
So
those.
who is a good person to use then?
I honestly would have to do some more research. I'm not going to just say a name. Just to say a name.
But so does Rob Parker.
Exactly, but that's my problem is like
you can't, especially when you title a topic like this, you got to have some stats, some facts to support it. Because you don't just title an article of Matthew Stafford or black. Come on.
But here's the thing, though. Jameis Winston is a unique case where it's like, first off, we already know Rob Parker does not like Tom Brady. So he went ahead and used the Jameis Winston example. It was a bad example, but at the same time,
but it's the only example he gave, and that's my problem. If it's a bad example and it's your only example, your argument's shit.
But at the same time,
we can't formulate these opinions on it. Like, he's got to have the facts.
Yeah,
in this
inform
article,
me, change my mind.
Literally, persuade me, change my mind.
But at the same time, a lot of black quarterbacks do not get a chance to stick with their teams and ride it out. They kicked Cam Newton out the back door, and he led them to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but Cam, it's not the same Cam. You know,
it's not the same Cam, but there are other players.
Who did they replace him with?
They replaced him with Teddy Bridgewater,
another black quarterback. So it obviously wasn't a race thing.
Oh, I'm not saying it's a race thing, but the thing is, they don't.
You use that example, Corey. So if you use that example, you're saying that it's a race thing,
right?
But what I'm saying is that just because they replace him with a black quarterback doesn't mean that, okay, yeah, replace him with a black quarterback. They do not give them enough rope to stay with their teams long enough to be able to, come back from, their failures and whatnot. Phillip Rivers, all these other guys, they've underperformed and they've gotten to stay with their teams. Matthew Stafford in his first 5 years, he was okay.
Yeah, but you also got to look at what's happening to Jared Goff. Took his team to a Super Bowl, won a playoff game this year. They threw him out. You look at Mitch Trubisky. He's done okay first 4 years in the league. They're getting rid of him, didn't sign him to his first-year option. You look at Carson Wentz in Philadelphia. White quarterback going to be replaced by a black Jalen Hurts. And, he's done well. He was their franchise, and they're getting rid of him. So I just listed 3 solid examples showing you that it happens on performance. It really doesn't matter. Those are 3 white guys. Like Baker Mayfield was a high pick, and he was catching heat for the last couple years. They were gonna, you got Daniel Jones, who's not gonna get a second look. So I can go on and on and on listing counter examples, and the only example I get out of Rob Parker is
a bad example.
A bad example. Go ahead, Art.
How much is it that Parker gives hot takes and he wants it to stick
it's clickbait.
and it's stuck?
Yeah, it's a garbage clickbait article.
Yeah, I understand where Corey's coming from. I also see where Stick's coming from. But at the end of the day, Rob Parker wins because you're talking about it.
For sure. I just wanted to put our opinion out there because we were talking yesterday and Corey says, I agree. So then it was like, all right, well, we got to talk about this.
Yeah, all right. Well, why do you agree?
Right.
And
we still don't have enough facts on this. But when you look at this, I mean, football is more than just the game. It's a business. You're dealing with the whole organization, a $1 billion, huge organization. There's a lot of factors. You look at Matthew Stafford, look at the leader he has been in just all of Detroit sports. Like, he is probably selling the most jerseys. So from a business standpoint, there's more than just his performances. You're looking at what Matthew Stafford means to the organization as a whole, what kind of person he is. It's more than just his numbers.
Yeah. How many people are buying Stafford jerseys?
Around here, a lot.
Maybe Calvin Johnson jerseys back in the day, but I can't.
You would be surprised.
Sanders still outsells Stafford. I guarantee.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm
guarantee.
Sure
for sure.
So, yeah, I mean, unless I can get better examples and actually hardcore, real issues. And I thought Adam brought up a good point. I'm actually sad he's not in here. If he would have wrote this article not against Stafford, but against, a Kirk Cousins, then I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because Cousins is a guy that keeps falling up for some reason.
Keeps getting opportunities.
I think, like I said, the article was just more so of how Stafford was able to keep the longevity of keeping his job, not getting another job. Black quarterbacks have been able to get other jobs. You just do not see black quarterbacks get that type of leverage for that long. You just don't see it.
See, I just have a rough time believing that. You know, like I see Stafford, and during his whole tenure year, who could we have brought in better than Stafford?
Off the top of my head, you don't. I mean, we have to. What I was saying, doing research and those.
I mean,
well, that's why we talked about this the day before, Corey.
There could have been drafts. Who knows what could have came along the way? But the truth of the matter is, the Fords liked him throughout this long 12 years,
right?
And they kept him. It's more than just the skin color thing and the performance thing.
Yeah, and like I said, if he could come up with better examples than Jameis Winston, because, you know, the Jameis Winston thing, if Tom Brady didn't come in and replace him and they brought in some scrub or something like that, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that did not make sense. The guy
That's why I said it's like he has a thing against Tom Brady, because when you look at the numbers, it is a point. Just because I said it just loses the point because it was Tom Brady. If you brought in somebody like Phillip Rivers, then that's bad, because Phillip Rivers is aging and he hasn't really done anything that superior to replace Jameis Winston.
Right.
Now, if you're talking about replacing Jameis Winston with Tom Brady, then it's a different scenario.
There's nobody in the league like, if I'm replacing Drew Brees with Tom Brady, I'm like, okay. You know, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, okay. Like Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, okay. Like, there's nobody in the league I'd be like, oh man, we can't replace them with Tom Brady. They're irreplaceable. Yeah. So like there's so many like different levels to this that it's just weird. It's just really weird. Like, but you know, this is what Rob does. He's a sensationalist article writer, and he's always been that way, a lightning rod. Like, you know, I can remember him asking, what was it, Marinelli's assistant coach, like, don't you wish your daughter would have married, or asking Marinelli, don't you wish your daughter would have married a better coach because his son-in-law was on the coaching staff.
He's done. He's known for hot takes. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
He's known for hot takes, and he's gotten people like all three of us to be up here and discuss the article because he's good at what he does. He's able to get those opinions out there.
But I don't mind hot takes. Just fact check it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't mind hot takes. No. All I want is for like me to be like, oh, I don't agree with that. Then read the article and be like, oh, okay. And I didn't get that from this article. That was really, you know, like I
think where the article,
I want to be converted on this. You know,
I think where the article stems from, just in my opinion, because everybody saying, oh, he didn't do his money. I didn't do any research into it. I just said I didn't do any research into it. So
ignore that.
Don't read the comments. No, what I'm laughing. Yeah. No, but what I'm laughing at is just that. Here's the thing. Growing up, I didn't really see that many black QBs. You didn't see them get that many opportunities. Now we're starting to see them. So I think what Rob Parker was just trying to come from was just that, in his opinion, because you didn't see that many black quarterbacks as we see right now, he's probably of the mindset that he doesn't think a black quarterback wouldn't have been able to have given that type of opportunity, because back then they were trying to convert a lot of black quarterbacks into wide receivers. Remember, coming into the NFL, they told Lamar Jackson to return into a running back.
They told Eric Crouch the same thing, though, coming out of Nebraska, and he was a Heisman winner.
But the thing is, they tell that, I'm telling you from my personal experience, and I have friends who have played who have played college football. They try to change a lot of those black quarterbacks into positions.
But what does that mean?
But they did the same thing with Tim Tebow too. They tried to turn him into a tight end.
There's a whole bunch of people.
But the thing is, it happens a lot more with black quarterbacks because they try to challenge their IQ. It's different with like Tim Tebow, because Tim Tebow, he was no NFL quarterback just in general.
He won a playoff game.
I mean, he won a playoff game, but he was
more than Stafford did.
True, but it's just
he still got cut.
I'm just trying to tell you. Thing is, you have to really just understand where my perspective of it from. I'm just trying to tell you from my shoes, the people who I talk to, a lot of those black QBs, they're told that they have to become a different position because they challenge because of their IQ, not because of talent. A lot of those guys,
and that's an issue.
No, they
if you don't have that quarterback IQ, then
they do that with more black quarterbacks than they do with white quarterbacks.
I would have to see the statistics on that, because I know they do it with, like I said, Eric Crouch was a Heisman winner for Nebraska. When he came out, they wanted to make him a wide receiver. Yeah. Tim Tebow was a quarterback for Florida. When he came out, they wanted to make him a tight end. So I don't just see it exclusively with black quarterbacks. You see it with just awkward talent, you know, like Tebow, is a talented football player, but he's not a quarterback.
It's changing now, where it's more like you don't see that big of an issue. But back then, where he's coming from, it was an issue. Right now, it's the playing field is becoming more even. You don't really see that type of.
So really,
thing
this
being
article
shown.
was just written 10 years too late. You know, like it really doesn't apply today.
Exactly.
So like
I said, that's what I said. I understand where he was coming from.
Right.
It's
just late.
Yeah.
Late in the game, man. Because when I look at I'm not a black guy. We've discussed this before. But when I look at NFL today and I see the diversity at quarterback and I see black quarterbacks just dominating the league, I'm like, this isn't really an issue anymore, right?
It all comes to athleticism. If you're more athletic than somebody else at a different position, then why not put them in that? It's like the same thing as if you were, what would you rather want? Would you rather not want a job at quarterback? Or would you want someone to believe in you to give you an opportunity because they see your athleticism to put you at wide receiver? What would you prefer?
Well, and look at Logan Thomas. There's a good example of it. He came in the league as a quarterback, and he's now one of the top 10 tight ends for Washington. So sometimes they get it right transitioning them, too.
Yeah, they do. Like I said, we just discussed the article was just maybe a bit outdated as far as what he was trying to get off as an argument.
Right. Oh, Mitch Miller's bringing the heat right now. Ryan Tannehill, wide receiver to quarterback. So they changed Ryan Tannehill. Terrell Pryor, quarterback to wide receiver. Julian Edelman, quarterback to wide receiver. Thank you, Mitch. Mitch doing his research. Richard Sherman, wide receiver to cornerback. J.J. Watt, tight end to defensive end.
I want him. Can we reverse that? I want J.J. Watt back at tight end.
Dude, what a beast. He was when he was at Central.
Yeah.
And then he transferred to Wisconsin.
Beast.
So, obviously, I mean, it's like we said, I would agree with this 10 years ago, but today it's just like, come on, Rob. I know you're trying to get the clicks and you got us to talk about it for 26 minutes, which is great, but at the same time, like, let's all move past that shit together and just enjoy the league for what it's becoming, which is a very diverse league. You know, the Lions have done great in diversity hires. Like, I just like where the league's going, and to constantly go back 10 years just to get clicks is kind of, it's cheap.
I feel you. That's what I said. I get where it was coming from. It's just that right now the league is changing. Where the way the league is going right now, those same guys who were forced to change positions before, they're not forced to change positions now. They're now given the opportunity to go ahead and play.
Well, do you think, not to keep this conversation going too long, but do you think that has to do with the evolution of the offense in the NFL?
Exactly, yeah.
Like, it's no longer, Mac Jones, they're not going to try to turn him into anything else because he can't play anything else.
Yeah.
Athleticism ain't there.
Right.
The game has changed.
The game has changed.
So, yeah, I mean, if you can, like right now, Jared Goff versus Justin Fields. The game is now becoming more mobile where you need a bigger threat. So I would rather have a mobile quarterback. I don't know whether he's black or white.
Right.
It's just the way to get. It's just changing. So
you know what? Here's my dream, Corey. One day we don't have to even talk about this shit. It's like, that's a good football player. That's a bad football player.
I think it's
we don't got to title it. We don't have to put these titles on things.
And I think it's getting more closer towards that. Like. Sure. Heck, even Eric Bieniemy addressed it yesterday during the addressed the race issue yesterday during the Super Bowl media day. He said that he's been made this poster. He didn't ask to be the poster child of black coordinators or black people not getting head coaching jobs. He wants to be recognized for his talent as a coach, not because he's a token black head coach.
Right.
I want to see what you did. I want to see the talent that you seek. I want to see the win to loss record, your leadership, and that's all we care about.
Yeah, and I live in an idealistic world. I've been accused of that several times, where I don't really see these issues for what they are, because I try to think past the issues and try to move on from them. But either way, it's a good discussion. I think Matthew Stafford got a fair shake here. I think the reason he was able to have longevity is because they signed him to a monster deal, and you couldn't really bring in anybody to replace him.
Yeah.
And that was part of it. And I think Jameis got out because Tom Brady was coming in, and we both agree. Like, listen, if I know Tom Brady's becoming a free agent as I am my team, fuck everybody, every quarterback on this team in trouble.
It's Tom. At the end of the day, it's Tom Brady. Like I said, if it had been somebody else other than Tom Brady,
right,
it would have had more legs.
Right. So, yeah, it's an interesting topic. I'm sure we'll touch on it again. Hopefully, maybe we can get Rob on next week to kind of, and have him do more research and convince me of this.
I will say this, because the game has changed.
The game has changed.
You can't say that straight face.
Back then, it was a lot more pocket QBs.
Oh, yeah.
That was really the thing. So I think that was a part of why they were trying to change those black quarterbacks and who were, did their thing in college, trying to make them into a wide receiver or QB, because that's how the game was. If you were not a pocket black quarterback, they were trying to make you something that the league really wasn't at that time. Now they want whoever's the best mobile QB.
Yep. Which I don't even understand why they do that. Like,
what?
If you were a quarterback your whole life, why would you take that risk of drafting somebody and turning him into a wide receiver anyways?
I mean, this is what scouts do. That's why they get paid money. Like, hey, this guy's skill set can transfer here, and sometimes it works. I mean, you look at like an Antonio Gibson that came out this year from Memphis. He started out as a wide receiver at Memphis, and they didn't know how they were going to use him once he came to pro. Now he's their full-time running back in Washington. So sometimes you just got to put a guy's skill set in a position to win. And that's what great coaches do.
Like Charlie Ward,
Yeah, Charlie Ward just played basketball. He was like, thanks for the Heisman.
Yeah.
I'm going to go play basketball.
Troy Smith. I mean, those guys got Antoine Randall L. QBs in college and got changed to wide receivers in the NFL.
Remember Slash?
Yeah, Slash. In this game, I think they would have been taken as quarterbacks and not changed to wide receivers.
Mm-hmm. Right. And we got to give a shout out to Grow Green. They got them dank deals going on right now. I mean, you can get some great deals on your soil, on your nutrients, on your lights, everything that you need, and they will ship everything to you, no matter the size of the order. $50 flat rate shipping anywhere in Michigan. And these are just the nicest people. Like, they're homegrown, and I don't use that as a pun. Like, they are a homegrown business, and they're supporting us, which we're a homegrown network, so we appreciate them. And if you want to visit growgreenmi.com, check out their entire selection. Or when you stop by there, give them a call, mention Woodward Sports so they know that you're listening to us, and they'll hook you up with some free stuff like a t-shirt, Frisbee. They got all types of cool stuff. So, Grow Green MI, thank you very much. Let's take a quick break, Art, and when we come back, it's Coney Review Wednesday, Joey.
Yeah.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
So we started it last week, and we're going to continue to do it every week here on the Woodward Sports Network. It is the Coney Review, because obviously Detroit's known for their Coneys. We're nationally, internationally, globally, universally known for these Coneys, and we want to try pretty much every place that we can in Metro Detroit. So first week, we went to American. This week, we went to a spot in Pontiac, right, Joey?
Yes, a spot on Woodward, too, ironically. And the big thing, too, I mean, restaurants just opened up 2 days ago, so it's the biggest thing of all right now is supporting your local businesses. Support your local Coney. Let us know which Coney we got to try next. And here's the next one that we do.
Yeah, let's check it out. All right, it's Stick and Joey. Every week we do a Coney review for Woodward Sports, and, since we're on Woodward, where do we have to go?
We got to go to M1 Coney.
The M1 Grill, and they got $2 Coneys today, so let's go drop $4 and try out these Coneys.
Yes.
All right, so this is kind of exactly why we do the Coney review and go all the way around the city. If you drove by M1 Grill, it just looks like this little tiny place. Now we're inside. Look at this. This place is badass. Beautiful in here. Super clean, super good. You ready to get into the Coney?
We got to do it now.
So remember, we're always looking for the snap. We're looking for the meat. Why do you call it the snap? It's the wiener snap. The wiener snap. It always says that. It's the wiener snap. Buns are soft. There's a good Coney. There's a good Coney. Not quite the snap of American,
Snap, I'm gonna give it a C on the snap.
Yeah, see on the snap bowl.
Took a little extra bite to get through it too.
Yep, but the onions are good. Chili's really good.
Chili's really good.
Mild chili. We do 1 to 313. What you got?
1 to 313. I'm gonna give it probably like a 270. 270 or something.
I was thinking right around that range, probably around like 250. The hot dog, it just doesn't have that.
But the chili though, the chili gave it like extra 50 points.
Yeah. And obviously, as you see, chili cheese fries looking good. I'm gonna try those right now.
It's all about the dog though, like first.
The fries are legit. Nice, crispy, good chili, liquid cheese. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. I'm wearing a white shirt. So what was your final? 270?
273, what is it?
270 around in there. I got 250 as my final score. I'm gonna take one more bite just to make sure.
That's a points to it now.
Chili is good.
Chili is really good.
The only thing bringing this down is the hot dog. It doesn't have the snap. Outside of that, great dog here at M1.
Look at it. It looks a little cooked too. Restaurants are back open. Support your local businesses.
All right, Joey, quick recap of the M1 grill right here.